Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is LK Live. This is your weekly WWE Monday Night Raw review. I'm your host, LK from KocoSports. And you, the internet infantry listening to me right now, put in the comments, was this show a win? Was this show a loss? Or was this show a tie? Now, this one for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be off the bat. I'm going to give it a tie. Things I enjoyed, things I didn't, things that made me question not only my life, but why I watch wrestling. And there's been casualties along the way. Okay, now these were once my glasses. They're no longer. They're gone. Okay, one leg has snapped off completely because I threw it. That's board behind me. Right there. I launched my spectacles once a Reigns kicked out of Owens' pop-up powerbomb. I thought that's so illogical, kicking out of the world champion's finisher. Hence the name Finisher. But enough of that. We'll get to that when it comes up. Again, live comments, please I'll get to them later on this show. We were live from Memphis, Tennessee. The show starts with the big dog, as Michael Cole likes to stress that out a lot. Roman Reigns, he comes out, boos, cheers from the women. Now, this I don't understand, okay? So the women, they cheer the men that are, quote, attractive, end quote. The men don't cheer the women who are attractive. They cheer the women that are good wrestlers. And I'm not saying they're not attractive. Obviously, they are. All of them are. But like when Eva Marie comes out, if there was a woman, they would cheer Eva Marie. So women who think men are perverts and pedophiles, they are hypocrites. So Reigns comes out. He looks pissed after last week. Stephanie comes out before he can talk. Thank you. There is a heaven out there. Foley then cuts Steph off. I hate watching Mick Foley walk. It's one of the most uncomfortable experiences any person could ever sit through. Like, when I watch him walk, I just think of Flashback, King of the Ring 98, No Way Out 2000, Backlash 04. I feel so bad just thinking that he practically killed himself for my entertainment, for your entertainment. So I just feel a bit bad, if wrestling didn't exist, he could have a healthy life. But who knows? If wrestling didn't exist, what would I be doing on my fucking Monday night? Jesus Christ. Reigns starts talking about, I don't really take notes on Reigns because, quite frankly, I pretend he doesn't exist and the crowd pretend he doesn't either by shouting delete. Foley makes Reigns versus Rusev at Clash of the Champions, even though there's no clashing of any champions, but we'll move on. For the US Championship, Foley says he's making Raw great again because if he loses the war, that being the ratings war, he loses his job. Okay, he makes Owens and Reigns tonight. KO comes out looking dapper in his nice black suit. I like the suit, I never particularly like black on black, but I kind of like it. It suits Mr. Kevin Owens. I do like that. So Kevin Owens says he's already beaten Reigns twice last week, so why the fuck do I have to beat him again? I've done it once. I don't have to do it again. But Foley says it's now going to be a steel cage match. Rollins then comes out. They have a stare down between Owens and Rollins. Michael Cole tried to touch on that, but they had to cut to a break. We have Seth Rollins versus Rusev, non-title match, of course. Did I just maybe even hint at a title match? Now, when Steph, during this opening promo, said it's a non-title match, I thought Foley was going to say, no, this is a championship match. This is like the fourth time in a row Reigns has been screwed. I'm going to screw it. I'm going to give him the championship match. I thought that's what they were going to go with, and the story of the night would be, Rollins complaining that saying Reigns doesn't deserve it, and then Kevin Owens complaining saying Reigns doesn't deserve it. And again, it's part of the reason why I just don't understand, hype that match. Instead of doing a cage match, and you shouldn't do a cage match unless it's a blood feud, like a feud ender. Like, for instance, the Best of 7 series has gone on for a few months, you end it in the cage. It's another reason why the glasses are no more. Jesus, unbelievable. And just let you know, I've actually got new glasses coming on Thursday. I just thought I may as well break them now. Thought it might be a funny story for the show. Rollins as a face, okay, I like it. I like the exchange of offense, but more importantly than that, I don't know if any of you else really like this, is it's such fresh opponents. Like, we've been seeing the same matches, Rollins Ambrose, Rollins Reigns, Rollins Cena. We've seen these matches so many times. Now we can shift it. We can see Rollins Rusev. We can see Rollins Owens, Rollins Jericho, which we saw last week, which I think was a really actually underrated match. So I'm happy with Rollins as a babyface. Rusev in this match hit a very nice pop-up knee to the stomach plus a kick to the head for 2. Rollins hits 2 suicide dives to the floor. I don't understand why wrestlers hit 2 of the same like dives, because you're going to get a pop after the first one. After the second one, they've already seen it. They're not going to pop as loud, so you're just nearly risking your life, and I don't think it's really smart. They brawl up the ramp, double count out, okay? They brawl some more until Rollins hits a crossbody off the table, which wasn't very high, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't be scared of doing what he did. And it got, this is awesome. Like, literally, I hope there's someone out there who had a counter for every single time a "this is awesome" chant was done, because it would have been in the hundreds. And I wish I was joking. For every 5 minutes, there was a "this is awesome" chant. I mean, in the Cruiserweight match, which we'll get to later on, there was at least 7 "this is awesome" chants. I counted to 5, and then I thought, fuck it, it's not worth counting. I'm going to run out of fingers soon. Unbelievable. It's clear to me, and it's clear to you listening, because you're not an imbecile. They are protecting both men. They're protecting Rusev because he's the champion. They're protecting Rollins. He's the challenger. But if you're scared of wanting to protect these people so bad that you're not going to give a finish, it gives me the impression, why even have the match? You could have just had a brawl. You know, I just don't know why they do this every single fucking go-home show. It could be Raw, SmackDown, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. If it's under the W umbrella, they always do this. You have the main event for the pay-per-view, the semi-main. You have babyface from the main versus the heel of the semi-main, the heel of the main versus the babyface from the semi-main, every single time. And then all of the other feuds on this show don't matter. Zayn and Jericho, where's the build? Shining Stars, Enzo and Cass, where's the build? Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, where's the build? Tag title match, nearly forgot about it. Where's the build? They have 3 hours. They have 3 hours to build this, and I'm not even exaggerating. 3 hours, and they have one job. Well, 2. 1, entertain millions, which they don't do. B, build. Just build that pay-per-view. Make me have to go in my pocket and have to get that network subscription. But people are like, oh, I'm not really interested. I've already seen a cage match. Like, that's me done for the wrestling for the week. I just saw a cage match on Raw. Unbelievable. That was an okay match. I'll be interested to see maybe if Rusev beats Reigns. Funny one. But say Rusev does beat Reigns and say Owens beats Rollins. I wouldn't mind a Rollins-Rusev feud. I think that could be an okay one. We go backstage. You have Charlotte and Dana Brooke. They're showing Mick Foley the footage of last week's double pin, because last week they just pretended that Banks won for some really strange reason. Foley then makes it Bayley versus Sasha Banks versus Charlotte at the Clash of the Champions pay-per-view. For some really fucked up reason, I do not know why. Instead of making it a one-on-one match, neither woman won that match, but they both got the title shot. Like, Dana could have got... Oh, I don't know anymore. Braun Strowman, Sin Cara. Move on. Backstage, we have Bayley and Sasha Banks. They're hyping Sunday's triple threat. They bicker about who will win, and then they hype each other before the tag match. Then we had the tag match. You had Banks and Bayley versus Dana and Charlotte. Charlotte, dude. I'm literally, this Raw drained me. The last hour I enjoyed. But if you can tell by whether I'm stirring or stuttering on my words, right now it's 4:30 a.m. I'm actually really wide awake, even though my eyes might not show it. Like, my brain is really wide awake, partly because, let me have a look. We've got 1 big bottle of Dr. Pepper. We've got 2 big bottles of Dr. Pepper. We got a half Pepsi. We've got this weird shit. It's called Tornado Energy, so I'm trying to stay my ass up. And it's killing me. Monday Night Raw will be the cause of my death. I'll have a heart attack live on air. And it'll be because of just WWE just making me bored. This match, to me, and I mean no disrespect, this match bored the fuck out of me. It bored me. Sasha was the face in peril. Okay, that's logical. She's got the bandage. Adds an element of setting or psychology. Charlotte and Dana Brooke, they work the back, like putting her back into the ring post. That was acceptable. I enjoyed that. Bayley with a hot tag. She cleans house. Kind of gets the crowd back into it. Charlotte then with a big boot just gets the win. Just That's like the sound of the crowd. Yeah, Bailey. Boom. You just beaten Bailey when you want me to pay to see Bailey challenge for the championship on Sunday. Like, you beat her clean. You had the heel beat the face clean on the Go Home show for a paid special. Let that sink in. The heel beat the baby face clean. She didn't pull the tights. She didn't use the ropes. She didn't do a low blow. She didn't poke the finger in the eye. She didn't do anything, pull the hair, fucking fuck her for all I care. Nothing. Nothing. Heels equal bad people. Bad people do bad things like cheat. It puts sympathy on Bailey. And then Sasha could have said, why did you lose the match? And then Bailey could be like, she cheated. And then Bex would be, no. They push. Refs separate them. Oh, God, I got to see who beat Charlotte. And then Charlotte's there like, you think they're going to beat me? I'm going to beat them. And then boom. Who's the fuck's going to win? I'm not going to have to pay the WWE Network to watch that event. How fucking simple was that? I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not anything special. I'm just an imbecile who talks to a fucking microphone, and I came up with what better than a fucking multi-billion-dollar company does, and they have 7 days to book this show. They should be ashamed of themselves for that. Ending with a big boot. If I could have maybe tolerated this if Charlotte won with her finisher. Quote unquote. Remember this quote, okay? Charlotte could have won by her, this is the important part, finisher, because it's meant to be a finish of the match. Finisher means finish. Jesus Christ. And, I mean, that's what I love about New Japan. That is one thing I love about New Japan. If you see a finisher 9 times out of 10, that's it. Like, okay, on the odd big match, maybe the G1 final or a Wrestle Kingdom or a big championship match, they're going to get a kick out every now and then. But most of the time, the finisher is the finish. We have backstage. Seth Rollins walks into Stephanie's office. Rey Mysterio, this is for you. It reminded me of start of a porno. And if you haven't checked out yet, yesterday I uploaded part of the CWC review where myself, Sammy, and Booms, who both sadly can't be with us tonight, but Sammy will be with me tomorrow for a SmackDown Live review. And I think he's going there live with his nephew. I'm not really sure about that right now, so I'm not sure how the time's going to work. We'll get onto that later on in the show. But as I'm talking about the fucking Rey Mysterio, so we didn't know what's happening with Rey Mysterio. We haven't seen him in a while. He is alive. And I uploaded a video yesterday. Do yourself a favor. If you find, the funny aspect of us entertaining, please watch it. This is more serious. It's the Raw review. So I kind of like how it's kind of like my little mini job kind of thing. I'm not getting paid for it, but it's my mini little job. And I want to give you a fair review. This looked like a start of a porno. Rollins is looking around. He sees no one. He looks up, sees Steph's office. He looks around, smiles, and walks in the door. Start of the porno. So we come back from commercial break. Sadly, Stephanie McMahon is not undressed. Seth says to Steph, why throw it all away? You threw it all away for Kevin Owens. Steph still claims she knew nothing about it, and maybe Triple H just had enough of him ruining the reputation after losing the WWE title and then costing Raw the WWE Championship and having to create this Universal belt. Seth says if he wins, he will be the authorities' worst nightmare. Steph says, you know what? Fuck you. I believe in Kevin Owens. That was that. Several minutes of my life I couldn't get back. Speaking of several minutes of my life I couldn't get back. Bo Dallas defeated my main man, Gary Graham. Let's go jobber. Dude, this let's go jobber stuff needs to end. Like, imagine you're that guy. Okay, you're that guy. You're Gary Graham right now. You're Gary Graham. You're in front of about 15,000 people. We'll just round it up. 15,000 people. And you're hearing let's go jobber. Let's go jobber. Let's go jobber. How do you feel? This might be the one and only time you appear on WWE, and you'll remember that as the crowd shouting, let's go jobber. And I can see, there's two sides to this coin. I would like, yeah, at least they're making noise, but dude, like he knew he was there to do the job, but could they have not been that disrespectful to call him a jobber? Like, he may be a jobber here, but, elsewhere he might not be. And that just upsets me. What didn't upset me was match 6 of the best of 7 series. We have Sheamus heading into this was on 3, Cesaro heading in was on 2, and the crowd, they were really into this. More than the previous matches, I'd say, probably because we're coming up to the finish here, and if Cesaro won, it'll be all tied, and if Sheamus won, this series would have been over, which would have been tragic. Sheamus hit this nasty, brutal white noise on the apron. That got 2. He also hit a Celtic cross into a backbreaker, which basically it's like a razor's edge. Imagine a razor's edge, but dumping him and hitting a backbreaker. Absolutely beautiful. I got a 2. Sheamus then applies the Cloverleaf, and again, all offense. Every single piece of it works the back. And obviously, Cesaro's selling the back, and he's selling the back, and I'm like, holy shit, is he legit hurt? That's when they get you. That's where psychology works. If for even a second, even a millisecond, like, oh shit, is his back all right? Oh fuck, his back. That's when they got you. And I like those moments where I lose track of what I'm watching is I don't like using the term fake or scripted. It predetermines a bit still. What I'm watching is it's not 100% real. These guys are putting on a show. And it just makes me think, if this was a real fight and he did that move, well, you wouldn't do it, but if he did, he would hurt the back, and he'd keep going for the back, and keep going for the back, and keep going for the back, and every move Sheamus did just worked the back more and more and more. Sheamus then uses a roll-up using the ropes like Cesaro did last week, which me and Sammy didn't understand on last week's review, but the referee caught him. Sheamus then goes for a slingshot shoulder block, but Cesaro hits an uppercut on the neutralizer to get the win. We're now 3-3. Cesaro celebrates like he just won the fucking World Cup in football, or the Super Bowl, or the World Championship. And it was brilliant. I enjoy this a lot. And how after 6 weeks, these guys are still having good matches, still having great matches. And I'm even looking forward to the 7th one. And I think I'm actually going to be a bit sad when it's finished. Like, no more Cesaro versus Sheamus on Raw. Dude, something has to be good. Like, okay, we got the Cruiserweights every week, but something has to be good, right? Maybe. We're going to get some live comments. Okay, and if you haven't seen this show before, live comments is, well, it's loosey-goosey. It really is loosey-goosey. So, with that being said, let's get some live comments. 3 likes, 0 dislikes. That's what we like to see. Thank you. We have Andy Paps, baby. Matthias Kid says, hello from Sweden. Greetings from parts unknown. Greetings, Ole Samuel. Thank you. You're becoming a really high-membered internet infantry with all the show listening you're doing in a minute. Thank you very much for listening to this imbecilic Nimrod myself. Edward Mohan, how are you doing? Gary North, show was okay apart from Roman getting pushed again. We'll get to that at the end. Ole Samuel, how many delete chants were there every time Reigns was in the ring? So the opening segment and the main event segment. Ole Sam, 3rd hour is obsolete. Gary North, tag team division is better on SmackDown. Edward Mohan, rumor WWE is interested in buying TNA. Oh, dude. I don't know how I feel about this. I was gonna do a show on this yesterday, but I thought, you know what? I'll just let it slide. I'll let it all just plan out. Let's see what happens. I don't want to get, anything wrong, or, tell you all bullshit. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to come up here and just make bullshit rumors so you click on the video. That's not me. I want to see how this story unfolds, and then I'll give it to you. And then I'll give you my opinion. But right now, my opinion is what you're hearing is bullshit. Okay, just my opinion. This is bullshit. Like, what was the source? Was it Forbes? Like, Forbes? What the fuck is that? I've never heard of Forbes. Maybe because I'm English, but I don't care. Like, I want TNA to survive, and I think they're slowly but surely turning their name into Impact Wrestling, which is good for their image. You can't like sell your wrestling company to a go on online marketing and go, yeah, would you like to advertise on TNA Impact Wrestling? Like, TNA, is that female, tits and ass, or, get it? Like, I think Impact Wrestling will be good enough, but I think it's bullshit if it is true. I'm curious what the figure is. If it is true, why? What are they going to gain from it? They're not going to get the TV deal. then what's the point? I mean, Ring of Honor makes sense. Makes sense if Ring of Honor buys it and gets that TV time. The TV time's what matters. But I mean, Billy Corgan's bought it now, or if at least he's got more of a percentage of shares involved. So I'm pretty sure he's the kind of guy who won't sell it completely. I have a few Twitter notifications. That's really strange. We have Underhook DDT followed me. Thank you very much, Underhook DDT. Wrestling Rant and Put. Well, Raw was some boring. Night all. Check out at OK Wrestling's review tonight on the KocoSports channel, which you are all doing. Thank you very much. Let's get back to your live comments. Well, they simulate. I like the club. Someone's got to. Then are no heels or faces anymore. That makes me sad. That makes me sad. That really does. That's not. I don't care how old I get. I don't care if I'm 95 in a fucking retirement home about to lie in my coffin. I want to clear in every single story. I don't care what story it is. You have to have a good guy. You have to get a bad guy. And if it's not a good or a bad guy, who do you get behind? Like, does the story still make sense? I'm not a fan of that, and I don't personally ever want to see wrestling in the point where it's always, but you should cheer him because he's a better worker, or you shouldn't cheer him because he's a shit worker, so that makes him the bad guy. I want a clear-cut face, clear-cut heel. Which one I get behind depends on if I like them or not. Oh, Lace MLA, LOL, LK hates all chants. I don't hate all chants. I don't hate Let's Go Cena. Cena sucks. I don't hate Let's Go AJ. I don't hate chanting wrestlers' names. I don't hate, people shouting, clapping or doing anything. I just hate, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. Like, dude, fuck off. I know it's awesome. Make more noise that I can, feel the electricity, and then I'm at home saying, yeah, this is awesome. It's different. If they're all getting up in their feet and they're literally clapping, they're bouncing up and down saying, this is, like, that's different, but they're not. They're sat on their knees like, this is awesome, and this is wrestling. Like, I can't stand this is wrestling chants. If there's one thing on this planet that grinds my gears more than anything else in this world, this is wrestling. Like, dude, we know. We really know. One of the best shows I've ever been to live was last month. I went to the Revolution Pro Wrestling, which you all check out, Uprising event. It featured Vader and Will Ospreay. There was one "This is awesome" chant, and that was after a Gotch-style pile driver off the top rope. Okay, that's understandable. The rest of the night, we cheered who we wanted to cheer. We booed who we should have booed. We got insane heel heat. Vader was the heel. He came out. We were chanting, "Fuck you, Vader, die, Vader, die." Shit like that. Okay, that's what you should do when you go to a wrestling show. Cheer the babyface on. Boo the heel. Like, stop with all this bullshit, please. I mean, with WWE, I understand that you don't like the babyfaces and you like the heels. Like, yeah, but you pop for the heels then. Shout, "Fight, Owens, fight." Don't go, "This is awesome." Because then you can't boo Reigns. Shout, "Delete, delete, delete." And then shout, "This is awesome." Because if you shout, "This is awesome," Vince is on headset saying, "Oh, look at these. We've got him, hook, line, and sinker. They're shouting, 'This is awesome.' They love him, really." If you just sit there, shout, "Delete, delete, delete, delete" the whole match, or boo, boo, don't shout, "This is boring," and never shout boring, because they're putting their fucking lives on the line. That's a chant I don't like, boring, or "Let's go, jobber," because that's so disrespectful. Dude, I went way off topic. Back to review. So, we have Foley. He announces match 7 will be at the Clash. That's Clash of the Champions on Sunday between Cesaro and Sheamus. There will be a Clash of the Champions preview. Put in the comments, would you like me to do each match individually like Backlash, or would you just like it me and Sammy, or me and Sammy and Booms, me, Sammy Rassin, or me and Sammy ourselves doing a complete Backlash predictions preview show? Put in the comments. Interested, because it's what you guys want, because it's your channel. Jericho comes in. He is making the list of Jericho, which is basically a list of things he doesn't like about Mick Foley as the GM of Monday Night Raw. Jericho comes out. Jericho says that Foley's a shit general manager. Enzo and Cass interrupt. I had to mute myself there before I got myself into trouble. Enzo then jokes around, dissing Jericho for his clothes. Shining Stars come out. Shining Stars promote Puerto Rico. New Day come out. Big E says they're out here because we have nothing better to do. Literally, probably is. They put over their tag match at Clash of Champions. Speaking of them, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows come out. Oh my god, they're so boring. Like, I actually agree. I was a fan of them in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, sorry, it's Mauro Ranallo. So New Japan Pro Wrestling. That was a start. That New Japan Pro Wrestling. When you picture me saying that, picture me saying it like Mauro Ranallo. Like, I legit get goosebumps every time I hear Mauro Ranallo say New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like, I love it when he says it. Anyway, back to the original point. Anderson and Gallows, they're a team that in New Japan I loved. I saw them last November at the Revolution Pro Wrestling again, Global Wars, and I was a big fan of them. I really was. In the tag match, they were against Kojima and Tenzo, really good match. I just don't like them here. I feel that they're wrestlers, not sports entertainers, and I know sometimes it really is difficult to tell the difference. And some of them cross over very well. Like I think Owens and Zayn, they cross over really same as Rollins, like Ambrose, fuck off Ambrose. Rollins, Owens, and Zayn, they cross over really well into the pro wrestling category and the sports entertainer category. Whereas I find I struggle with these guys that because they didn't learn the W style, because they didn't come through the developmental territory in NXT, they were just thrown out there to be with AJ, and then they had to swim with the sharks. They may still be swimming. Is it good finesse swimming? Is it nice swimming to watch on TV? Maybe not, but bless them, they're still swimming. They basically talk about beating the New Day last week. Jericho says no longer a list of Jericho, it's a list of stupid idiots. Sami Zayn music hits, and he beats up Jericho. Big brawl. All 10-men brawl, or 11, how many is. So then, in one of the most laziest booking things I think I've ever seen in my whole entire life, to the point where I threw my glasses at the thing, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is what is left of these glasses. We have New Day, Sami Zayn and Enzo and Kaz versus Jericho, Shining Stars, Anderson and Gallows. This is, to me, we have three rivalries, okay? You have Enzo and Kaz versus the Shining Stars, which no one gives a shit about. Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho, which no one gives a shit about. Anderson and Gallows versus New Day, which I don't give a shit about. You might, but I don't. It's, okay, we're not going to bother making you care. You already don't care because we haven't made you care. So let's just throw them in a 10-man tag. Let's not bother write them anything. They don't need promos. They don't need, backstage story. They don't need, threads throughout the show to make you want to pay to watch them fight. Just have them fight. I don't care. That's what it feels like to me. That's what this feels like to me, and it hurt me a lot. Cass gets your hot tag. Everyone dives to the floor. Spot. Zayn and Jericho brawl. Zayn hits the haluva kick to Epico after Jericho dodges it. Enzo hits a splash off the top. It was a 10-man tag. It was unnecessary, unneeded, and for me personally, unwanted. I feel that it's just laziness in its purest form. They could have done anything. They could have really done anything. You could have had Jericho come out with that long list and say, this is what I don't like. Instead of doing it at Mick Foley, why couldn't you have done that on Sami Zayn and have Sami Zayn pissed, come out absolutely pissed off? They have a big pull-apart brawl, and the commentators can scream at the top of their lungs. The only way you're going to be able to see them actually fight, is this Sunday on the WWE Network Clash of Champions. They didn't. They had Jericho diss Foley, which didn't go anywhere, which will not have a payoff. Instead, you could have had Jericho diss Zayn. Enzo Cass and the Shining Stars, I don't want to watch. And quite frankly, I refuse. At Backlash, I refuse to watch the Usos versus the Hype Bros. At Clash, I refuse to watch Enzo and Cass versus Shining Stars. New Day, Anderson and Gallows, they've been trying to build this now. I mean, SummerSlam build was shit. At least they tried. They've just kind of given up now. And I actually believe that the New Day will win and Anderson and Gallows will just mediocreize the tag division, just become mediocre and irrelevant. They could join Curtis Axel and Mr. Irrelevancy. Dude, if loving Axel's wrong, I never want to be right. I absolutely adore Axel. Where's my boy? Then there's an Eddie Guerrero tribute as his Hispanic heritage, and it was awesome hearing King shout Latino Heat. I used to love when he did that. And I forgot how awesome his WWE Championship win was. It's been a long time since I've seen an Eddie Guerrero tribute, because I tend to not look for dead wrestlers tributes because it's just a bit sad. Obviously, the memories are in my brain, and I just forgot how awesome the crowd was and how awesome Michael Cole was and Taz when he marked out. That was a good moment. Rest in peace, Eddie. Rest in peace, my son. Then had Mick Foley come to the ring. Foley butchers, batters, and bruises the opening line. Toilet. Heavy scripted promo. Heavy as fuck. Like, heavy scripted promo to the point he was so shit when it got to announcing the wrestlers, he got cards out to read off them. He got the script out to read. Unbelievable. So the Raw Cruiserweight, though, has got a nice little purple logo. It's all looking slick. I do like it, I have to admit. So Rich Swann comes out. I loved how he stopped on the ramp. And he bounced up and down a few times, just looked around like, holy shit. Gran Metalik comes out. Cole mentioned CMLL. That was very fascinating to me. Cedric Alexander, he did the same. He got to the ramp. He pointed at the floor saying, holy shit, my name's here. Did a spin around, walked to the ring. And that to me makes legitimacy to this show, brings a sporting feel to it, and makes Raw feel important. The first and only time on this night, Raw felt important, minus the music for the cage lowering. It feels important because it's like, holy shit, this guy, this pro wrestler is taking this moment to let it sink in that he's on Monday Night Raw. How special is that? Brian Kendrick comes out, and Mick Foley makes it a fatal four-way number one contenders match where the winner gets a Cruiserweight title match, a Clash of Champions. The people, like I said, Metalik, Swann, Alexander, and Kendrick. The match started off with Alexander and Swann. They exchanges some dirty chops. Alexander hit a running flip to the floor. Metalik hit a running springboard flip to the floor. This is awesome, John. Silent. Like, what I didn't understand is, okay, if we think that's awesome, but say that was awesome, not this is awesome, because you're shouting this is awesome, but in between these spots, it's more noisy in a graveyard than that building. Like, they were popping for big spots, and just instead of popping, there's no longer the pop. It's this is awesome. Like, the pop is gone. It's this is awesome, and it fucking drives me absolutely bonkers. Alexander hit a nice handspring, ends a group for two. The fifth this is awesome chant. At this point, I refuse counting. Kendrick goes for the captain's hook, but Metalik breaks it up. Alexander hits a brutal lung bar check, and Kendrick applies the captain hook to get the win. Out of the four men here, Alexander, Kendrick, Swann, and Metalik, if you said at the start, what Cruiserweight on the Cruiserweight Classic would you not want to see TJ Perkins faced, reminding you that Daniel Bryan will not be on commentary? I would say Brian Kendrick, because I don't care. Like, I really do not care. Like, I didn't care when he was the Brian Kendrick. I enjoyed his work with Paul London as a tag team. I was shocked Michael Cole brought him up. But as a whole, I would have said out of the four, I don't want Kendrick winning this. So, of course, Kendrick won because it's WWE, and I forgot that it was WWE. So, instead of, doing an Alexander fresh one or a Metalik in a rematch, or maybe they can do that down the line, but I think legitimately Kendrick's going to win that one. But this was a good match. The crowd, go fuck yourself. You were dead silent until there's a big spot where they nearly killed themselves, and then you just chanted, this is awesome, instead of making loud electrical noises. They announced Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox on the pre-show. They'll be going to steel cage match. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. I love the cage lowering music. Boom, 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 boom. That's what it's all about. Delete chances for Roman Reigns. Why is this a cage match? Dude, the cage matches were once, blessed. They were glorious, It was a feud end. It was a blood feud. It was the culmination of months and months of hatred. Remember, St. Valentine's Massacre in 1999 with Vince and Austin. The culmination of a feud to the point where you just want to rip each other's heads off inside a steel cage. Nowadays, it's just like they use it as a no one can get in, so no interference. Like, it shouldn't be that. It should be two men hate each other so badly they should be thrown into a cage like vicious animals to beat the shit out of each other. Simple, but they just ruin it for me. And what really tipped the iceberg and really made me pissed was when Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb, and it was a 2. Reigns kicked out on free television. Reigns kicked out of the pop-up powerbomb. Now, the next time Owens hits that pop-up powerbomb, I'm not going to be emotionally invested because I've seen Reigns kick out. And if that does get the win, if Owens does get the finish with his finisher first time, I'm then going to think that, oh, well, Reigns kicked out. Well, why couldn't they? That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. It was Owens has beaten many opponents with that pop-up powerbomb, but it won't beat Reigns because he has to kick out. Unbelievable. Kicking out of the world champion's finisher on free television. What a absolute fucking dirty, disgraceful, danky, dickhead move that was. Unbelievable. Reigns wins. He defeats the world champion or universal champion on free television because he got out the door. He got out the cage first. That just fuck off. And then he beats up. Okay, he gets out the cage. Rusev comes out. Rusev hasn't wrestled in 3 hours close at this point, so he's fresh. Reigns, who just went 15 minutes inside a steel cage with the heavyweight champion of that brand, or the world champion of that brand, sorry. And Reigns went on to beat the shit out of Rusev. And he beat the shit out of him. And beat the shit out of him until Owens made the save. Okay, so it was 2-on-1. So in theory, Owens and Rusev were the babyfaces. They were just defending themselves until they got inside the cage, locked the door. Then Rollins' music hits. He comes running down. He hits a crossbody off the top of the cage, taking out Rollins and Rusev to close the show. I like closing the show hot. I think that is a smart move. It kind of gets you like, oh shit, I want to see the outcome of this. Have to pay for Clash of the Champions. But to me, it feels like they were only setting the pay-per-view in the main event. That was it. They were setting the pay-per-view in the main event. The rest of the show, not setting it at all. Please, I'm so happy that Raw's done and out the way for the week. That makes me extremely happy. At least Clash of the Champions, it'll be more wrestling based instead of this bullshit. Like, I like sports entertainment when it's done right. I like a good story to be told. When it's not told properly, when it's not told right, I find it damn right boring as fuck to watch. So there's your review. I'll give it a weak tie. I enjoyed the Cruiserweight match. Just a lot of stuff that just didn't make any sense at all. And it just wound me up, quite frankly. We'll get some live comments, some more. We'll finish the show on some beautiful live comments. Do you think WWE is going to sign Will Ospreay Mighty Scale? I'll go, I think it depends because Ospreay stars now with the Cruiserweights. I think they'll sign Ospreay eventually. I think next Cruiserweight Classic, Will Ospreay will be a part of all the Cruiserweight Classic after. Skrull, maybe. I mean, the thing is with Skrull, you could do a cool villain character. It's just, do these people, like, WWE would sign them in a heartbeat. It's if they want to. Ole Samuel and Miklas Kid said, go group predictions and a complete preview. So they don't want match by match. They want a complete preview. So that's what I'll do for you guys later on this week. Thank you for all the live comments. Thank you everyone who's posted comments after the show's at live. Thank you everyone who's watched live. Make sure you check out KocoSports.net. Make sure you buy Dave Koco's book in the link in the description box below. Make sure you check out all of last week's review. We reviewed Lucha Underground, reviewed SmackDown Live, reviewed last week's Raw, reviewed the CWC final. What else did we do? I reviewed TNA Impact Wrestling. So please check out all the great content. Next show will be a SmackDown Live review. Let's have our fingers crossed the show's a lot better than tonight, because that was 3 hours and 15 minutes of, well, let's say 2.5 hours, because I did enjoy the Cruiserweights. That being said, this has been from LK from KocoSports. Make sure you all stay safe. Make sure you all stay well. And I'll be catching your asses down the line.